My name is Robert Rosati, and I'm a water use efficiency specialist here at Palmdale Water District. We want to help you get your lawn ready this spring. To help us do that, we have local landscape expert Brad Hayes from Greenbee Landscape. He will be sharing his tips and tricks to getting your lawn spruced up this spring.
Hi, I'm Brad Hayes from Greenbee Landscape, and I'm here today to help Palmdale Water District customers get their landscape ready for the spring and summer out here in the Antelope Valley. So I want to share some tips with you, things we've learned over the years, and we've been out here since 1991, so we've been through a lot of winters. So we just want to help you out and keep the Antelope Valley as beautiful as possible. First thing you're going to want to do is check all your tools. You know, we all have a place where we keep our garden tools. Go to that spot, make sure your inventory is all there. I'm sure you have a checklist of all the tools that you need for your landscape. Make sure that any rust is taken care of. You might, want to clean them up with a Brillo pad. You might want to spray some WD-40, check the handles, make sure they're not cracking. If you have to replace something, replace it. So that's the first thing. Make sure you have all the tools that you need and all the safety equipment, including gloves, goggles, and possibly knee pads, maybe a hat for the hot summer sun, and possibly a wagon or whatever you're going to use to haul the debris away. So once you have all that in order, then you're going to go out into the landscape and look around. Just kind of take an assessment, inventory of what's going on out there. We have the high winds, we sometimes have snow, we have just the super cold, brutally cold nights sometimes, and that can take a toll on the plants. So some plants are going to need their broken branches pruned back. They're going to need some shaping. They might need all the winter damage to be headed back and trimmed back to the core of the plant that's beginning to grow back now. And then you're just going to remove all that debris, and that's your number one step, is just kind of clean up all the damage. At that point, then you can mulch your garden beds. I like to use a shredded bark mulch like this. It's got some fibrous quality to it when it was shredded, and so this mulch will actually hold together, resist the wind. I know a lot of you are afraid that your mulch is going to become your neighbor's mulch, but that's not necessarily true if you use the right mulch. Now also, this mulch has been inspected by an arborist, not when it was mulch, but when it was part of the tree that was trimmed. They have inspected these trees prior to creating the mulch, grinding the mulch, to make sure there's no pests, no disease. So that's important. Next thing you're going to want to do is turn on the sprinkler system. Check it out, make sure there's no freeze damage, no clogging, no adjustment that needs to be done. The sprinklers are moving parts, so even though you might have them perfectly adjusted, in the summer, the next spring, they've gone on and off so many times, and with the temperature fluctuations out here, they can get out of adjustment very easily. So you want to keep those adjusted so that you're not pouring water out onto the sidewalk and wasting water. That's very important. And you want to make sure you have good coverage. So once you make sure that you've replaced any nozzles that are broken, any valves have been repaired, you've adjusted everything, now you can go out into the lawn area and look around. You're going to potentially have bare spots. And if you do, you're going to scuff up those bare spots, put down a nice fescue seed mix, which is recommended for this area, and get that spread out. And then you're going to adjust your lawn sprinkler zone to water as many times as you need to keep that seed moist until it germinates. That may be 5 or 6 times a day, but you're not going to be watering for very many minutes. You just want to water just enough to keep the seed moist until the next watering occurs. Once the seed germinates and starts to grow and root in, you'll be cutting out those water times and increasing the time in between, so that as time goes on, we're developing deep root systems for a strong, healthy plant. And eventually, that lawn will only require 1 or 2 waterings a week, believe it or not, if the roots have gone deep enough. So now that we're looking at the controller, you may feel that your controller is a little outdated. You'd like to get the one that, you know, that's available now. We have smart controllers. Palmdale Water District is offering a rebate, so you have a great incentive now to change out your controller. And rather than you having to stand there in your garage every time the weather changes and adjust your controller, your controller will do it on its own. It's satellite based. It basically knows what the weather is and will make those adjustments for you. So you can look into that, and I highly recommend it. You know, check out what controllers will qualify on the Palmdale Water District website. So finally, now you've got all these problems solved and you're ready for the summer, but there's one thing left. You have some holes in the landscape. You have some areas where you might want to fill in. Maybe you want a focal point. So now's the time to visit your local nursery, maybe take some photos of these open areas, and find out what you can use to fill in that. It may not be the same plant that you had there before. Maybe that plant wasn't the right plant for that spot. So now's a chance to spruce it up, do something different, and switch it out a little bit. Have some fun. You can also add pottery, and you know, there's just so many ways to add color and create focal points without waiting for plants to bloom. So pots like these are wonderful additions to the garden. Even in the front yard, they look really great. You can also add some seasonal color. Some of it only lasts one season. Other flowers are going to be more perennial. I would say minimize the seasonal color, because that can be expensive if you have to replace it every season, and try to go with more of the perennials and just lace in some of the seasonal color in there, some of your favorite stuff that you're going to switch out. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a wonderful season in your garden, and I want to thank Palmdale Water District too.
Thanks, Brad. But if you're thinking about removing your lawn, consider applying for our WaterWise Landscape Conversion Program, which gives you up to $2,000 for changing your lawn into drought-friendly xeriscape. For more information, visit palmdalewater.org or call 661-947-4111, extension 5943 or 1001.